Hey everybody, welcome back to Alabama Care. Today we have Maggie and her daughter Jaimie, who is also known as the little witch who waits. Jaimie and Maggie, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. My name is Margie DiGiovanni. I'm Purdue. I'm going to
Say what? And you're 42 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, she's 42 years old. She wants you to know that because her birthday's coming up in a couple of months.
Okay.
And I am her mother, Margie DiGiovanni, but most people know me as Maggie. And we're ready to do an interview.
I'm so happy to finally get to see y'all's faces.
Nice.
So I am going to be checking, watching the comments in case any of the viewers have questions or anything for y'all.
Okay.
So when is your birthday, Jaimie?
My birthday is 1942, 78.
December 22nd, 1978, she was born.
Oh, it is coming up. Happy early birthday. Mine is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Mine just passed, and we're not even going to discuss that one. So keep going.
So I'm gonna ask you the story behind the little witch who waits, but first I want to know how it went. How was y'all's Halloween?
Did
Did you have a lot of people come? We had some really strange things happen because she had a lot of people come to see the little witch, and she was so thrilled to see them. She made new friends, but we had our neighbor's black cat who never comes over here, and he was greeting everyone at the driveway when they came up. And as soon as they stopped arriving, he went back home.
Oh, yeah.
So the little witch had a black cat.
Well, that was kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about the little witch is she has angels, and it seems that every time a cat comes near, something is going to happen in her life. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing this was why this cat was here, because he was supposed to be her greeter on Halloween night.
Yes.
How special. That is so cool. So like the whole Halloween season, did y'all have fun? Do y'all like carve pumpkins or watch scary movies or anything like that?
I was happy.
And what we generally do at the beginning of October,
Yeah.
the first Saturday, we go get our pumpkins.
Yeah.
That we must do that. And then we paint them generally.
Yeah.
And then we can wash the paint off and let the animals have them.
Yeah.
So the paint doesn't hurt the animals.
Yeah.
And we get to use them two ways.
Yeah,
Of course, I do keep one for pumpkin pie.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, but we get a lot of pumpkins, don't we?
Yeah, we planted a field of pumpkins for the fall festival, and we're not farmers, so none of them. Well, actually, we had a few small ones that turned out, but we planted all kind of different kinds, and they have like different ones for pumpkin pie. The lady that sold them to my husband told her that these are good for pumpkin pies, and so there's so many different pumpkins. I never really knew that. I knew the different color ones, but I didn't know that like about with the pies and stuff like that. So tell us the story behind the little witch who waits.
Well, she used to go trick-or-treating all the time, but eventually you get too old to go trick-or-treating. And she hit that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I know. And so I told her, I said, well, honey, you're really too old to go trick-or-treating anymore, but you can give candy out to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she was thrilled. She says, I'll dress as a witch. She has been sitting on the porch every Halloween for 21 years.
Oh.
Waiting for people to come, huh?
Yeah. But daughter,
Diane came late.
Yeah.
One of the ladies at the senior center where Jaimie volunteers had said she was bringing her granddaughter, but evidently they got here after we turned out the lights.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, she was there from 5 until 8. And that's a pretty late time.
Yeah.
Right. That's plenty of time, I think.
Yes. But she even got to see the Invisible Man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, when you turned out the lights, he disappeared completely because he was solid covered black, even a black mask and everything. So he just totally disappeared.
So how many trick-or-treaters do you think y'all had?
Oh gosh, I guess we had 20, 25 maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
And it was like one or two each time coming up. And all of them were saying, we read about you, we heard about you.
I know. I loved, like when I saw that article, I loved it. And I was excited to invite y'all to come to the fall festival we had. So hopefully y'all can come next year.
You'll be there
I
next year.
will.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I feel like trick-or-treating, like over the past few years, it's not really the same, because I feel like everybody goes to the trunk or treats, and not many people, they just don't trick-or-treat like they used to. But I remember when I stopped trick-or-treating, that's what I enjoyed doing, was handing out candy and seeing all the kids in costumes and stuff. Saturday, I took my girls, we were all pirates. And we went to trick or treat the streets in a nearby town, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then Sunday we went to my parents' house, and we were going to go to a couple more houses, but nobody was out.
We didn't have a lot of lights on in the subdivision. We had a few.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of them.
Yeah.
But we had one lady that came in and she says, I've been wanting for the last few years to show my kids what trick-or-treating really was like, instead of just the trunk or treat.
Right.
And she said, the little witch gave us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So she allowed somebody to know what real trick-or-treating is like.
Oh, that's
I
right.
do.
I love that. So Jaimie, do you have a favorite memory since you've been the little witch who waits? Do you have a favorite memory?
My name and my leg was on a buttercup, and here I am, Yaggers, everything.
So pretty much everything about trick-or-treat is special.
Yes, on my birthday.
Did you have any special person that you thought was really neat?
Like in the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was Dasher again
Mm-hmm.
for Halloween, not this.
You get ready for next year already?
Yeah.
Let's get over this one first.
And then,
She plans way ahead.
yeah.
I do too. It's okay.
The day after her birthday, she will start telling me next year I'm going to be.
Uh-huh.
Right?
We've had the same conversations. We've been talking about what we're going to be next year. My youngest daughter, Parker, she says she wants to be a witch. And I said, okay, we'll be a witch next year. And then she says she wants to be a ghost. Okay, we'll do that next year.
Uh-huh.
So what about you, Miss Maggie? Do you have any favorite memories since Jaimie has been the little witch who waits?
I have so many special memories of her just being Jaimie. But no, I think this time it hit the top, because she was so happy, and she went to bed with a big grin on her face, because she had had so many stop by for candy. And because when she first started doing it, kids were coming, you know, and it was nice, and she was being able to help and hand out candy and everything. And then people got afraid and worried, because people were doing really bad things
Yeah.
with the candy and everything. And so I think that the fact that so many trusted her so much that they came and they wanted to make her happy, I think that was the most special of all.
Oh, I love that. So do y'all do any of the trunk or treats or anything?
Usually we do. Our church doesn't trunk or treat,
That's
but we
right.
told them we couldn't come this time. And I really wanted to go this time because we had a special family that was coming. We had this family who, the gentleman, he works for the power company, and a transformer blew up in his face. He got burned very badly. And so their family needed help. And Gina from the Cornerstone Coffee Shop asked me to help. And I went and asked everybody to help, including our church. And I went back to find out that our church was the one that came through. They just lined up the counters with food and everything they could find for the family. And the family was going to come to trunk or treat at our church. But since we were expecting the people here, we couldn't be there.
Right.
And I haven't found out if they came yet, but I hope they did. Because their church didn't help at all.
gosh.
Yes.
Praise
Our church
the
been
goodness.
through great guns.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Yeah.
Jaimie, oh, I'm sorry. You can go
No,
ahead.
I would just like to meet them because they seem like a very special family.
Right. Well, that's good to hear that y'all's church stepped up and helped them.
They always do.
Jaimie?
They're good people.
Yeah.
There's a comment from Alex, and he says, "Happy belated Halloween to you."
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
My daughter, my youngest daughter, she's still today. She said, "Happy Halloween, Mom." So she's still talking about Halloween.
Jaimie came out yesterday with a turkey she had made. She said, "We're getting ready for Thanksgiving."
Oh.
So she's going into Thanksgiving now. And
Yeah.
she makes fun things for the holidays.
Oh, good.
We always have something good that she's made.
Yeah, big game.
Yeah. And we play games.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your favorite game to play?
What's your favorite game?
I like game barbecue.
Rummy Cube.
Uh-huh.
And she'll beat you.
Oh.
It's a strategy game, and this young lady will whoop you.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, she does. She's awesome.
I know you'll beat me. I've never played that, so you beat me for sure.
Well, when she was little, her grandmothers were saying, "Oh, just let her win," and I said, "No, not doing that. She's got to win on her own." Well, she learned to win on her own, and now she beats me on a regular basis any game we play.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, good for you, Jaimie.
She has no pity for her old mom.
So Maggie, being a writer, are there other articles that you've used to advocate for Jaimie? And could you talk about the importance of being a parent advocate?
Well, generally what I write about when I'm writing about her, I have a site on line that I go to, and it's fan story for writers.
Mhm.
And generally the stories I've written about her have been there, and it can reach anywhere from a couple of people to hundreds of people.
Mhm.
That's according to how much they like your writing is what it comes down to. And I've heard back from people that she has made a difference in their lives hearing about her story, because I think because she's kind and gentle and generous, they become the same way.
Right.
When they hear about her, and it helps a lot. And is it important for people to speak up for their kids? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't understand if people will not. You can be shy for yourself if you wish, but you cannot be shy when it comes to your children.
Yes, I love that. You're absolutely right.
You can't afford it with your kids.
That's, I know I've always been pretty shy, but Charlie has had a way about her that's kind of forced me out of my shell. It didn't, I had no choice.
That's right.
But
But
yeah,
Charlie is awesome. I think she's just the cutest thing going.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I loved seeing that article about Jaimie. But yeah, it's super important, speaking up for your kids. And I'm really proud of the book that you shared that I wrote about Charlie. She doesn't have it's her voice in a way, and it can help kids understand her and all that. And so it could just make it an easy way for kids to approach her, like they know her a little bit better because of that book. And I felt that way about the article that you wrote. I felt like I automatically knew Jaimie, and I love that so much. And I also read the follow-up article where tell us about that.
Well, I've written so much lately, I'm getting confused about myself. But the second one was it was just to give a little more information about her and to let people know how important this was to her. And we're hoping that the third and final chapter will come out very soon, because we wrote up how her night went on Halloween.
Oh yeah.
And I hope that will come out too. Now I'm working on a book for her, but it's called "I'm 21 and I Drink Wine." this came from one of the times that she, well, she didn't surprise me. She shocked me to know
I am.
because we were lived down in Florida and I worked at a resort.
Mhm.
And when we went to the grocery store, I saw two people that I talked to regularly at the resort who were guests there.
Mhm.
And I brought Jaimie up and I said, this is Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. Well, she always looks younger than she is.
Mhm.
And so the lady was looking at her and she says, well, honey, how old are you? You're about 10 or 11. And Jaimie looked at her, she says, no, I'm 21 and I drink wine. I said, what? Okay. I'm guessing every 21-year-old.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
so funny.
I don't care what the circumstances. I guess they figure if they're 21, they can drink wine.
I do.
So that's going to be her story, at least up to 21.
Yep.
So is the book, is it just going to be all about Jaimie, or is it going to be like a collection of experiences?
It's pretty much all about Jaimie. It brings her brother into it too, because he was pretty special. When she was born, we were shocked, frankly. I mean, I didn't expect anything to be off because her brother, 7 years earlier, he
Mhm.
came along and everything was fine. And we're trying to explain to him that, well, you've got a little sister, and that's fine. But when she comes home, it may take her longer to learn things. It may take her longer to do things. And so he wanted to go see her at the hospital. And we finally got a date. She had to stay in for 2 weeks
Mhm.
because at first she had seizures and then all kinds of things were going on. But finally she was out of the incubator and everything. And he says, can I hold her? And so they dressed him in this huge long gown and this big hat and gloves and little slippers on his shoes and everything. And he sat down in a rocking chair and I put her in his arms. And he looked down at her and he says, sis, Mom says it may take you long to learn things and to speak and do things. She says, but she forgot something. You've got a big brother and I'm going to teach you everything.
Oh
He was good to his word.
my gosh, that makes me want to cry. That is so precious. And he was 7?
He was 7.
Oh my gosh.
And about 3 months after she was born,
Yeah.
he was taking care of her in the living room. I was just next room over cooking. And he screamed. And I thought, oh my gosh, something awful's happened. And I came in and he says, Mom, you got to see this. You got to see this. And Jaimie was laying on her back and he had a toy and he held it up over her face so she could see it. And he'd say, look, she's following it. Just look, she's following. And he says, now watch this. And he said, "Sir," and she flipped over on her stomach. So she turned over for him. She sat up for him. She stood up for him and she walked for him.
Yes.
That was her hero.
That is so sweet. So do you still see your brother a lot?
No, he lives in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Way up, huh?
Yeah.
But he's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah.
And she's
Oh,
all excited. She asked for prayers for his travel today at the senior center. Huh?
oh, that's sweet. I'll pray for him to be safe too on his way.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
He drives. I don't know why he always wants to drive that distance, but he always drives down. So,
That is the
Yeah.
sweetest story. Oh my gosh.
but he stood by it, and his two best friends,
Mhm.
they were her protectors. Nobody dared bother Jaimie.
No.
And when they got grown, he was 5'8".
Uh-huh.
The next shortest was 6'4",
Mhm.
and the next one was 6'7". Nobody bothered Jaimie.
Yeah.
And they all treated her just like she was the little sister. All had time for her. They were really wonderful.
I love that. So after her hospital stay, did she have any more seizures?
No,
No.
just that one. Her blood thickened when she was first born, and that's why she had the seizures. But they were able to get that fixed, and she hasn't had any problems since. So she's been doing pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
good for you, Jaimie.
Thank you, Emma.
So I'm looking forward to reading. I'm 21 and I drank wine, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the third follow up, and the second article, I felt like it came across to me as it showed how much people cared and wanted to support her. Like that drugstore gave her candy, right? That's so special.
She has the habit of making friends wherever she goes. She is an outgoing personality. She's not shy about anything, and she'll go up to and even if a person is mean to her, she will just turn around to them and smile and say, "It's okay," and then they feel really rotten.
Yeah, right. I read, talking about advocating and stuff, I read a quote. It's probably, so last month was like, it was national, or it was something to do with Down Syndrome Awareness Month or something like that. And I had a lot of friends who posted a lot of stuff, like either like facts or little stories. So I read all kind of cool stuff, but I saw this one quote that a mom said. She's on some show. I don't remember what show it is. But anyway, so she said, let's go from awareness to acceptance to delirious love and curiosity and celebration. And I love that so much, because really, I mean, you start off as, trying to spread awareness, and then, but it goes, it goes further than that. Like you want your child to be accepted, and then you want them to be loved too. So I love that quote.
I think it's a beautiful quote. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll happen, because we have people in our government who are working against it, and they are actually trying to pass laws in some instances where if the parents find out they are going to have a Down syndrome child, that they abort it.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard of that.
There was a young man who stood up in front of Congress, and he was Down syndrome. He had Down syndrome, and he stood up there and he says, "I'm alive, I feel, I love, I care. So why can't I be like everybody else?"
Oh my gosh, that's like incredibly sad. I have never, like, from the fall festival we had, I was around a lot of different people, a lot of different abilities, but I met some of the happiest, most, like, they were so fun people, so no, I do not agree with that.
Not at all. Well, what this country has a habit of doing, and I really don't know why, we want to be like other countries when we have one of the best countries in the world.
I know.
And well, there are other countries that actually have that. And that's why they're looking at it, because other countries do it, then they want us to do it. And I'm saying, no, why would we do that when we have so much more here than other countries do? So why do we want to mess up? I don't understand that. Why would we want to follow someone?
Well, I know. I thought we were the country that everybody wanted to come to and be like. So
that's the thing. They do. They want to come to us, but we want to be like them. Why be like them when they're trying to get away from theirs and come?
Yeah,
it makes no sense. But then a lot of things don't make sense these days, right?
Right.
Right.
So more about Jaimie. So based on the article and based on my phone conversation with you, and then based on now meeting you, Jaimie, like I see like you're awesome. So I can see like why so many people love you. But my question is, and then even like in part of the article, you mentioned about like some of the little kids who would come to trick or treat her, and they would want her to leave and go with them to go trick or treating. Like they loved her so much.
Yeah, she has always had this thing. It not only that, but when she was in school, even though she was in special needs class, they would go out to recess. Whether they came to the other kids or not, they came to her and they would say, "You want to come and play soccer with us? You want to come and play ball with us? You want to come and do this with us?" And it was great because she'd say, "Sure," and it was not trying to get her there so they could be mean or anything. They very much wanted her there, and they played and they had a great time. But they did not treat the other kids in her class that same way. It was just her.
Oh my gosh, that is so sweet.
Why she has this Lucky Star. Well, I think God's looking down on this. What's happening? But I don't know why she is this fortunate. I'm glad she is,
Uh-huh.
but I really don't know why. But her dad and I, when she was first born, the doctor kept telling us, just take her home and love her. Don't expect anything. Just take her home and love her.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you don't expect anything, and then you won't be upset. And we pretty much told him, stop saying that, because we will expect everything
Yeah.
until she says she can't do it. She's 42, going on 43. Yes, I remember. And she has not said I can't do it yet, so I'm not going to tell her she can't.
Oh my gosh.
She had one class where her teacher came up to me and he says, I'm so excited. He says, we're going to teach them how to cook hot dogs in a microwave. I said, great. Hot dog in a microwave. Okay. I said, now when you get finished with that, come to my house. She will make you French toast, serve you orange juice, have you some eggs, and make your coffee. Because
Oh.
she's been cooking since she was old enough to climb up in the chair and run eggs around the bowls with
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. What's your favorite thing to cook, Jaimie?
I like waffle,
waffles,
Yeah.
pancake.
pancakes. She's into the waffle pancake thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love both of those.
Yes.
But lately we have not been cooking as much since her dad passed away. It's just the two of us.
Mhm.
And so we do more of, well, let's face it, we're turning into sandwich kids and we got to stop that. But every now and then mother gets really on with it, and we do cook a full supper with the veggies and everything. And she always says, thank you so much. That was so good.
Oh, that's
That's
so sweet.
That's when she reminds me of her dad. So she
Oh,
always said that every time we cooked the meal. It's thank you, honey. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
that is so sweet. So are y'all planning a big Thanksgiving meal?
Probably not huge because my sister and her husband will come over, and there'll just be the four of us. So it's not going to be a huge meal.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of relatives around here. Not a whole lot.
Ham ain't nothing.
So we're not sure what we're going to have yet, but we're not really crazy about turkey.
Yeah.
Steak.
That's neat. We prefer ham. I like a good ham.
No, I'm into steak and roast and this type of thing.
Gotcha.
You want turkey?
Yes.
How about just a Cornish hen?
Not good.
That way we won't have it left over for 3 years.
Yeah.
So what is something we can all learn from Jaimie?
She makes friends because she's willing to give. She goes up to the person first. She doesn't wait for them to come to her. And she has no bias whatsoever. She does not see a person through their skin, their hair color, their eye color, or anything else. What she sees is a person who needs love. That's what she sees. And I was asking the people at the senior center because all the seniors adore her, and when she doesn't show up, they want to know why. And they said because she's got a good heart, and she's not shy, and she's wicked at playing games, and she gives love 100 times more than she receives.
Oh yes.
Oh, I love that. Such wonderful qualities. A quote that I love from your article about Jaimie, the little witch who waits. It says, true to her nature, she smiled and turned away. Standing a bare 4 feet, 4 inches, her ability to forgive made her seem taller. I loved that. And you're such a good writer too, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
But she inspires.
Oh, I
She
know.
has inspired since day one.
Same thing with my daughter. She has made us appreciate like the smallest things, like just breathing. People just overlook breathing, and then also little things like I'll look at her and I think about what she needs from me, and she sees you. That's all she sees. She doesn't care about what you're wearing. She doesn't care what she wears. Little things like that. that she has taught me, and and she's nonverbal, so you can learn a lot from your kids.
I can tell you her dad had a stroke and he was nonverbal for 3 years.
Oh, really?
People who never heard him talk, because we moved from Florida to Pennsylvania, and people who had never heard him talk said he was one of the most wonderful people they'd ever met. He had such a fantastic sense of humor, and they loved him. And he never got to speak to them because he lost his speech, his ability to read, everything that he had felt made him special. And he lost it all, but he never lost his sense of humor. And he always wanted what was best for his family. And he was just awesome. But I have something to share with the people who may be watching.
Okay.
Jaimie, when she was in Pennsylvania, she went to Sunday school with a large group of kids. And they were reading a story in the Bible. And it had to do with being afraid.
With being what?
Being afraid.
Okay, yeah.
And the teacher asked them, says, have you ever been afraid? And you're thinking, okay, they'll say, yeah, there's a bug, but no. They had one who said, I'm afraid of getting left behind in an elevator because he was a quadriplegic. Couldn't get himself out if he got stuck in an elevator. We had another who said, I'm afraid of dying. Another one said, I'm afraid of living because I don't want to be like this the rest of my life.
Oh my God.
Then you had one that says, I'm afraid my daddy's going to get out of prison and hit me again. And when I listened to the things they were afraid of, the real fears, I mean, the serious fears,
Right.
don't occur to us because we don't generally have these problems. It stunned me and it brought me to tears because they have such huge fears. And we don't think of that because no one ever asked them, what are you afraid of?
Right.
They just assume they're not afraid of anything because, hey, unfortunately, they say they're too dumb to be afraid. No, they've got fears just like everybody else. And honey, this little girl may not speak real well. She's one of the smartest people I know. Huh.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I picked up on that pretty quick.
She is.
You seem pretty smart, Jaimie.
I had to go out the other day, and when I came back, she had cleaned the house. She had even wiped down the refrigerator for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Washed clothes.
Yes.
And had them ready to be put away.
Yeah.
So she is, I mean, it's like, whoa, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And a bed.
You made up my bed. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And I thank you because I was exhausted when I got home. And all I could think was I'm going to have to do all that when I get home. And I didn't because she took care of it. I didn't ask her to. She just does it.
Nah.
It's just amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
So sweet. So I know y'all moved a handful of times, right? Was it an easy transition for Jaimie, like while she was in school, to move?
Yeah.
Did you have problems moving ever?
Sometimes.
When?
Right here.
Last year? We didn't move last year.
Yeah.
You got 2 years with you. I will tell you, if she has trouble moving, she doesn't show it.
Oh.
I was told again, while she was still a baby, that if you ever have to move when she gets older, you're going to have to tell her like a year ahead of time. I don't know a year ahead of time, and start working that year to get her set to move. Well, usually I know about a week ahead of time and then I'm out of here. And so she comes into a new community. The first thing we do is we throw a party because we want people to know she's here.
Yeah.
And if there's trouble in our house, I want people to know, get her out. So it's important that we do that. And we are friends with the police department here. So if anybody bothers Jaimie, they got a lot to pay for because those police love her. And after we have the party, I will have somebody in out once a month, having the ladies in or whoever, and we get to know our neighbors so that they don't know
Peabody.
to look after her. Yes, we had a tea party for Jaimie too and
Yeah.
her friends, and they had a wonderful time with big
Yes.
hats. Yes. And because we plan like that, she doesn't have a hard time, and we join the church as quickly as possible. And when she goes to church, she wins people over. I had about the third person the other day tell me, says, you know, when I come to church, you know why I sit where I do? I said, no, I'm teaching where she said. She says, I sit up front because Jaimie's up there. And I watch her because she has a microphone. It doesn't work, but she has a microphone and she's up there singing her heart out with her microphone.
Yes.
And she says, I watch her and says, that does more for me than the pastor's message sometimes.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
So
Yeah.
what had happened was when we were in Florida
Uh-huh.
at a church, they had several people up there would have microphones.
Mhm.
Well, she started getting her pencil and holding her pencil up. And so one day they came into Sunday school class and they told Jaimie, we have something special for you. And they gave her own microphone.
Oh, so cool. Oh my gosh.
And so she has had a microphone ever since. No matter what church we're in, she has her microphone and she's singing.
Yeah.
No batteries. But
Right.
she's singing and she's having a ball, right?
Right.
So sweet. What, Jaimie, what's the favorite places that y'all have lived? What's been your favorite place?
I like bowling.
You like bowling?
Yeah.
No, not that. Where do you live?
Oh, these.
You got to listen.
I know.
Did you like Maryland or Pennsylvania or Florida or Alabama?
I like Alabama, but
Good thing to say because we live in Alabama now.
yeah, Alabama girls this is big game. I was as you in Alabama.
Oh, and she's an Alabama fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
she
good to
was-
know.
She says Alabama's playing LSU
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock on Saturday. We
Yeah.
will be in front of the TV, whether I like football or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm?
I did it Tampa Bay.
Do what?
Tampa Bay.
You lost me.
Tampa Bay. Base.
Tampa Bay. Oh,
Yeah.
she likes the Tampa Bay Rays when they play baseball.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
All in?
I am.
Yes, she
Have-
gets ready for her Alabama games and she puts on her Alabama shirt. She's got an Alabama hat and, you know, whatever she can find with Alabama on it, she's wearing it.
Oh, cool.
Woo!
Roll Tide.
Oh, God.
So what about like therapies? Did you ever go to any therapies, Jaimie, like in school or outside of school or?
I'm out to a week, but I do on one reservation.
You had
And
graduation?
yeah,
No, therapy means did someone help you to learn to walk or talk or use your brain? And yes, they did. Huh?
yeah,
They started doing that when she started to school at a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got home, she would have a therapist waiting for her.
Mm-hmm.
And her brother would come in after his school every day and he'd say, what did the therapist say? What do we need to work on this time?
yeah,
And he would work on it all week, whatever
Yeah.
the therapist said. Huh?
yeah.
That's right.
Man, you are blessed with some wonderful kids.
Yes, I think so. Of course, I could be a little biased, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I'm out here. I'm out here. Like, Mom, can I get it? I'm a dad. Mom, I'm going to resurrection. You know why?
She's saying when she graduated at age 21, not only did Mom and Dad come, but David and Karen, his wife, came, and her two
Mom, John.
adopted brothers. They had to come and see her graduate.
Oh, good. I'm so glad all of them came.
You.
And then we had a party afterwards. Huh?
Yes.
So sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
So-
but she had therapy, but oddly enough, the only thing I remember about the therapy is that one day the therapist came in and she was trying to tell her, okay, get these blocks and put them in this cup. She had a plastic cup and a saucer.
Yeah.
And Jaimie said, and come on, honey, gotta pay attention. So empty them out. She started over. She said, okay, now here, put the block in the cup. Come on.
Yeah.
She says, well, I guess she doesn't want to do that. And Jaimie looked there and turned the blocks out, put it back in the saucer and picked it up and says, you drink from the cup. You don't put blocks in it.
No,
How old was she when she did that?
She was about 3 years old at that point.
yeah.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
So smart. Were there any did y'all have any big obstacles like with the school system at all?
No, we did not. I was thrilled that they had every place we have been in, as far as Maryland and Florida, they have good programs for kids. And she was going to Florida after she was 21, going to Sarasota County Technical Institute. And that was absolutely fantastic because they were trying to teach them banking,
Cool.
how to get around town on their own. How, if you go to a restaurant, and if you have your meal, then you pay for it, but you also tip the person who helped you. Yeah. And so they were trying to give them these life experiences type deal. And that was great. But then we had to leave when her dad had his stroke. And when we moved to Pennsylvania, we did not find the same programs there. They did have places where children could be sent. It wasn't really an institution. It was just living for them, living quarters for them and everything. And that was the only thing that I found there. They did have art to help them with jobs and everything. But unfortunately, in at least 2 places where she's been, people, young ladies, have been attacked while working. And so I said, that's not happening. No. She did get work experience when she was in school there because they got her job at like Home Depot, drugstores and everything. She was putting stuff on the shelves and everything. And she was very good at it. Yeah. And she enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, yes.
Hey, have y'all ever heard of a little something extra ice cream?
No.
Okay, so you're gonna love it. So it's a mom, and I think they're from like North Alabama. So her son has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's a whole big, wonderful story. But anyway, so basically they have an ice cream truck, and Hunter is her son. He's the CEO. And so this mom, her name is Michelle Norwood, and she has a whole staff of I say kids, they're not kids, but they all have maybe Down syndrome or any kind of other abilities. I asked her if Charlie could come work for her one day, and she said, yeah. So, it's really cool, but it's based on her, son having Down syndrome. So what they do is she, like, say,
go out just a second because I'm hearing something that doesn't sound right. So
you may be hearing my daughter. She's in another room. She's loud.
It could be, but I've also got dogs outside, and I got that cat comes.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling my daughter, she's sounding a little bit like a cat.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably what you hear.
Yeah, that's right.
So Jaimie, this ice cream truck I'm talking about, I think it would be really fun for you if you're interested.
I love chocolate ice cream.
They're all sitting on the porch being good.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's my daughter in the playroom. I told Jaimie she kind of sounds like a cat in there. But anyway, I'm going to send you some links so you can read about it, and it may be even like a little story that you want to cover because it's very interesting. So what she does, she can hire different people from different areas, And so when she would travel to say, okay, say she travels to Tuscaloosa, then she would call the people from Tuscaloosa and say, hey, do you want to work today? But it's very interesting. So Jaimie may be interested in that. But like I said, I'll send you some links, but it's definitely something to look into.
All right, great. Thank you.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So what about like transitioning out of the school system to community living? Jaimie, have you been able to keep in touch with friends and all that? I know you said y'all go to the senior center.
Yes.
She has a lot of friends in church, and they are not special needs. She for a short while they had a special needs class, and then the woman who ran it, unfortunately, she had to go with her husband to another church where he preached. She's going to go with him because I'm supposed to be the pastor's wife. Okay. And when she did that, all of the kids moved with her.
Oh, no.
Jaimie. She is in a class with regular kids, and every time you go in, you're hearing, hey, Jaimie, wait.
Oh.
So she's got a lot of friends, special needs and otherwise.
Oh, that I know that's the best feeling. I remember when Charlie, like she was in this little preschool class for a little while, and if we took her in, all the kids would say, hey, Charlie, and it would just melt my heart.
Absolutely.
So what is something you'd like to see more of in Alabama for the disability community?
I think I would like to see better schooling for them. I don't think they have enough by a long shot. Mm-hmm. I don't think it is spread out enough so that all kids can use it. I don't know of any right around us that Jaimie could go to at all, or that anyone else could. We do have the same pastor's wife. She takes care of the kids, and she takes them out on trips like bowling and this type of thing. And right. But we just don't have enough people getting involved,
right,
in the special needs at all on any level.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish that there was some way to get through to them that, hey, this is worth spending money on, because I think I've heard too often, and it kills me when I hear it, that, well, that's a waste. No, it's not. Mm-mm. Because she has never been a waste of anything. She is just fantastic. And I think if more people saw that, instead of making up their minds before they even know the person, I think that would help a lot. But I don't know. I think the people that make the rules, I think they should have special needs kids.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of what I was going to say. I agree. Like, people just don't get it until they're in that position. Like, kind of like, I don't even remember what it was, but there was some kind of law, and it had something to do with seizures. And it's like, okay, if this random guy, like if he could be in the same room with my daughter and see her have seizures, or if it was his daughter and he could see what we see, then, he would probably change his mind. So I agree. I mean, and it's their loss for not getting to know these kids like we have. So I totally agree.
Well, I worked at a place that's called MedSource in Maryland, and I was the human resources director. Mm-hmm. I fired every worker except 2 in the first 6 months, because we had 10 houses with 3 to 4 people living in each house who were disabled in some way. They were mentally or physically disabled, and sometimes both. And I kept hearing, well, anyone who takes care of these children, they must be angels. I'm sorry, they're not angels. Too often, they're the devil himself. Mm-hmm. I had one young man who came in with both jaws broken, and the keeper, who also happened to have his fist wrapped, said he fell on the grass. The grass at that particular house was so thick and lush, you would have had to fall in like 6 inches down into it to hit anything hard enough to break a jaw. Oh my gosh. That wasn't going to happen. So he got fired. But we had people who stole from them. walked into one house because they had gotten the allowance for the food for 2 weeks
Mhm.
for these folks. And we found not one grain of rice or anything else in that house to eat. You know what they spent it on? They spent it on themselves to have a cookout.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And this is why my Jaimie is living with me today. But anyway, I changed the rules and regs for hiring people
Uh-huh.
because evidently when before me, the person had asked, well, do you know anybody who might want to work here? So every single person in the houses was related, either friends or relatives of each other. So they covered for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since I have my own special needs person, we fixed it.
Yeah.
A lot better now.
Good for y'all. Good for y'all.
But well, it wasn't easy because that's one of those jobs where every time I got rid of someone, everyone in the houses came to see what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would get threats on my life for doing such things.
Oh my gosh.
It didn't really bother me. It wasn't going to stop me. She's more important.
Yeah, I am.
Yes, ma'am, you am.
So sweet. I know something, I think the same thing besides besides a lot of stuff, but I think there should be more just activities for kids with special needs, just fun things.
Yes.
Like everything that's usually planned for kids or made for kids, it's not with special needs kids in mind or kids with different abilities. So that's something that I think too, just fun things, fun activities. Jaimie, have you been bowling recently?
I love running, yes.
It's about time to go again. We go about once a month.
I'm out,
Yeah.
yes.
She's good too.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask her. Are you
And
good?
I am. So
She's got her own ball.
I'm a ball. I'm an Olympic bowler.
You're a good bowler, huh?
Yeah, big Olympics. Oh,
She was a Special Olympics bowler.
Oh, cool. Well, it sounds like you're good at it a lot.
yes.
It was hilarious. We were having a Special Olympics one time, and she was going to throw the softball.
Uh-huh.
And evidently, the young man who was supposed to catch it wasn't expecting much
Mm-hmm.
because he went out about 10 feet and he says, okay, throw. I said, get back. He said, oh, okay. So he backed up a couple. I said, get back.
Uh-huh.
And he wasn't listening. Finally, he went out about 20 feet and he says, I think this is far enough, because most of the kids there, if they threw, if it went 5 feet, they would just go to the ground there. I said, okay, your funeral. She threw that ball and almost knocked him flat.
Oh my gosh.
She's strong. I mean, she doesn't look it, but she's a strong little girl here. Yes.
Oh.
Another way to show that is with her brother, who now remember, this is her hero.
Uh-huh.
Yes. She came into the living room and she had gone to the ladies' room and then she came back. And at this point, she's about 6 years old. And her brother took her chair and he turned around, he put his feet up on the sofa. And he says, why don't you get another chair? She says, move. It's okay, honey. Why don't you just get another chair? She said, move. He didn't listen.
Uh-huh.
Told her to get another chair one more time. She grabbed his feet, took him off of that sofa so fast he didn't know what hit.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. He's 6 years old.
And he was in weightlifting.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. You're strong. Look at you. So
It's not that she has a temper. She doesn't use it too often.
uh-huh.
But she wasn't mad then. She was just insistent that she was going to get her chair back. That's all.
Well, good for you. Do you have, Maggie, do you have any advice for new parents with babies who are diagnosed with Down syndrome?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it.
Don't listen to the doctors, first of all, because they don't have a clue what they're talking about most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah.
That's right. Like I said, her doctor said, don't expect anything. You expect every possible thing you can from that child. because if you don't expect it, they won't do it. If you do expect it, they will do it to please you. Even more, they'll do it to please themselves.
Yeah.
I think the saddest thing I've ever seen is a parent who says, oh no, honey, you can't go outside, you might get hurt. Oh no, honey, you can't help in the kitchen because you might do something. Oh no, honey, you can't do this because. Stop finding out what they can't do and find what they can do.
Right.
Because they have so many abilities. Do you know my little darling here is an electronics whiz?
Wow.
She teaches me how to use the electronics. I don't teach her. She's pretty awesome that way.
Oh yeah.
And the one thing though, what you will come up against is what you expect them to know may not happen. What you don't expect them to know, they will know.
Yeah.
And an example of that is one day we were driving and the static came on the radio. She wanted to know what the static was. And just so happened we were going past the radio tower. So I said, see that big metal tower there? She says, yeah. I said, well, it sends out the noise to the radio so that we can get music. So it sends up sound. And I said, if something gets in the way between that and a car, then you get static. She says, you mean like snow on television? Well, yeah. Yep, that's right. On the other hand, when we were in a pedal boat and we came up to the pier, she stepped on the front and started sinking us because the water started coming in. And I pushed her up on the pier and I said, go get a pan. She brought back pants.
Oh. Nice try.
Yeah, we sunk that little boat. We had to get somebody to get it out.
Oh goodness.
But it's just never assume, because you know what assume does. So never assume that they don't know things. Talk to them and make sure they do know things. And never assume that they do know things, because you can sink your boat if you assume they know what you're talking about.
Right. Right. So as we come to a close today, Jaimie, I'm going back to Halloween. I wanted to ask you what your favorite Halloween treat is.
Halloween candy.
What kind of candy?
Yeah, any kind of candy.
Yeah, single cups.
Peanut butter cups. Reese's peanut butter cups, right? Okay.
Yum.
I think that's everybody's favorite, frankly.
Oh yes.
I don't know how you ended up with any enough. You had a couple left.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a popcorn ball?
What did you say? Give me
A popcorn ball.
you got your ball?
Yeah, a ball of popcorn.
Yeah. I'll try it.
It's good.
I'll try.
It's like popcorn with syrup on it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I'll try.
I always say that's my favorite Halloween treat. My stepmom used to make those growing up, and I remember thinking like, oh, nobody's gonna like those. Like nobody's gonna want to take it because it's homemade. And then once I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then people looked forward to them, but they are really good.
Have you ever had sour apple popcorn?
No.
Oh, try it. It is so good. That's my favorite anymore.
I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. I've never heard of that.
We have it at our cotton festival when they have different one place that comes in and they bring that sour apple popcorn, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And so if you find it, get it by all means.
Yeah. So I am really hoping that I get to meet y'all in person next year, and y'all can come to the festival and we can advertise it saying the Little Witch Who Waits is going to be there and giving out candy.
We would love to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. All right. Okay.
Yes. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that you think a member of the community would benefit from hearing?
Mostly, I think we have really covered everything, because the main thing is, do not look at our children with pity.
Yes.
With dislike. Get to know them just like you would any other person. And I think you'll find a treasure
Yep.
We weren't expecting it because I sure did. I mean, when we didn't know what to do, we said, "Oh my goodness, why did God give us this child? Because we don't know how to raise her."
Uh-huh.
Did pretty good, I guess, because he didn't turn out rotten.
I love everything that you said. You said you might find a treasure. That is so sweet. Well, I have enjoyed every second of this, and I feel honored to have gotten to meet you, Jaimie, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in person, hopefully next year.
Thank you so much. Well, maybe one of these days we can meet before the Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm going to send y'all the information to a little something extra ice cream, and y'all can look into that.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
But I think that wraps it up, and I have enjoyed this so much. I hope y'all have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much. It has been our pleasure.
Thank y'all. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.